Hello, Julie here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for joining me today. If you are not a subscriber and you enjoy this video, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel. If you are already a subscriber, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. I'm still working on this flip-flop journal that I'm creating. I'm getting through it, getting close to finishing, but I've still got a couple more things to do. So I've decided to make a over the page embellishment, and I'm going to use this paper. I'm going to cut the piece 11 inches by 4 inches, so I'll start this way because I want to use this piece here, so that's 4 inches by 11 inches. Okay, and I'm going to cut this piece of cardstock. Actually, is that 11 inches? Yes, it is. So this is just a piece of, I think it's about 300 GSM cardstock. It might be a little bit less. I'm going to cut that to the same size. This is going to go on the back of that paper for writing, for journaling on. So let's make that 11. Okay, now I'm going to score both of these at 5.5. So that's going to go like that. And this one is going to go fold that. Looks like it's not really cut absolutely straight, but I can always trim it up. Okay, now this is going to go over the page, and I'm going to cut, first of all I'm going to attach some magnets to this. So let's do that first. These are very strong magnets. They're very small, but they're very strong. Okay, I want 2. 1, 2. Right, I've got 2 there. I'm going to put them fairly low down. I'm going to I'm going to use double-sided tape here. I've got this really strong double-sided tape. I'm going to put that on there. Trim that off. Okay, so I've got the tape off the back of that, so I've got a piece of double-sided tape sticking on there. I'm going to pop that down there and press that down. Now I'm going to do the same on the other end. I'm going to put a little piece of tape on here. Okay, so I've got that backing off. Now I'm going to fold this over and press that down. And that will get my magnets in the correct position. Now I'm going to attach this on top of that. As best I can. So let me ink around this one first. Okay, so I'm going to stick that onto there. Okay, let's line that up as best we can. And just before I put that down, I'm just going to add some glue to those magnets just to make sure that they are nicely attached. Okay, and the reason I'm using cardstock instead of just paper is because if you use thin paper, you will see your magnet, and I have found that the magnet can cause the coffee dyed paper to split. So I'm playing it safe and going with cardstock. And I'm going to fold that over like so and burnish that down. Okay, so that's stuck in place with my magnet. That will stay shut. I'm now going to trim this up so that there's no overhang. So let's bring this in. So this is the page I was thinking of putting it on. So it's going to go over there, like so. Very good. That works. Might be a bit too thick for that. There's a couple of layers of paper there. Anyway, seems to be sitting there okay. If I find that it is too loose, I can always add a paper clip here. Okay, so now what I wanted to do, on the front here I wanted to put a window pocket. I've got this piece of paper. Now I'm going to create my window pocket. So I need to cut this so that it is, how big? 4 inches by 4 inches, I think. How wide is it? Okay, going to use my Spellboard. I'm going to score at half an inch, oh let's say, yeah, half an inch and half an inch, and on the bottom I'm going to score at 3/16. Okay, I'm going to cut those corners out. Cut those tops off on a bit of an angle. And I need to cut, if that's going to go on there like so, I'll bring it up, put those in. It'll be like that. And I need to cut a rectangle out of there. Now they're too tall. Let me find another die. Okay, so I decided to use this Spellbinders Labels 1, and I have taken it to my die cutting machine and I've cut that out of there. So that's my window. You can see that I'm going to have to trim these side pieces back. I'm going to have to make them about 1/4 of an inch, I think. So let's do that. What's going on here? Yep, that will be fine. So probably for a bit more here. Very good. Now I need some acetate. That one is not quite big enough. So I'll cut a new piece, and I'll make this piece 2 7/8 by 3 1/8. That's really almost square. There. Now, before I attach my acetate, I'm going to just ink around the edge of this cutout, because of course once you've got your acetate attached you can't do that. Okay, now goes that way. So let's attach some glue around here and around the outside. And position that in there. Now I'm just going to take a piece of washi, any washi, and just put across the top of that acetate, so that when I'm putting things in and out of the pocket, they're not going to get caught. This is cheap washi, so it's not very sticky, so I'm going to add glue to it. I'm going to attach that on top of that acetate so that things will slide in and out of there nicely. That's going to go on there like so. Put that there. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to take this to my son. Oh, first of all, I'll put a divot in it. I've got my 2-inch hole punch. I'm just going to put a shallow divot in here and get it something like central. And now I'm going to go and stitch all around it. I don't think I'm going to stitch around the window. I think that might be a bit too tricky, unless I just go in a rectangle and in a square. But anyway, I'll stitch around it and see what I come up with. Okay, so I've stitched around that. I didn't stitch around the centre. And I have stitched around my base as well. Now I'm going to attach that onto there. Actually, I think I might cut those strings off, those threads off. Use my art glitter glue and just apply glue to those little gussets. Just by using a gusset, it just gives you a little bit more room in your pocket. Now I have to be careful not to get glue on my acetate. Right. Okay, so there we have our pocket. I don't know whether this tag's going to fit in there or not. Oh yes, it will. So there we go. That actually looks like a good sized tag for that. Alright, now for the other side, I wanted to put an envelope on here. So let's say I'm going to make my envelope 2.5 or 2 3/4 inches by 3.5 inches. So I've got my envelope maker here. What did I say? 2 3/4. Here we go. If I use a 5.5 inch piece, that's supposed to fit a 2.5 by 3.5 inch card. It might be a bit small, or maybe not. Okay, I'll do that. So to do that, I need a 5.5 inch by 5.5 inch piece of pattern paper. So I need to grab some more paper. I'll be back shortly. So I've got this paper. This is from Denise's Enchantment collection. And I'm going to cut this so it's 5.5 by 5.5. says to start on 2 3/8. So I've got, where is that, 2 3/8 is there. Okay. So punch and score, punch and score. So if you haven't seen one of these in action before, they are very easy to use, and you always end up with a nice envelope, all nicely proportioned and folding nicely. This punch at the back just rounds off your corners, and I don't think they're very expensive. I can't remember how much I paid for that, but I've had it for a long time. So I fold this like this. And how does that fit on there? It just fits. That's okay. That's okay. Alright, so I'm going to ink around this, and I'm going to actually attach this to that over the page embellishment. Then I'm going to put some little bits and pieces in the envelope, leave the back of the envelope open. So that's why I wanted something that had a reasonable pattern on the inside. I might just fold that back and ink along that as well. Okay, so now a bit of glue along here and along here, and I put a bit along here and here. Normally I cut that piece off or fold it under. Yeah, I think I will anyway. For some reason that looks a bit skewed. Put a little bit of glue on that and fold that in. Burnish them all down. There we have a little envelope. I'm going to take this to my sewing machine and stitch around the whole outside. Okay, so there we go. I have stitched around the envelope, and now I'm just going to ink around the areas that haven't been inked as yet. Freshen it up a little bit. Okay, and now I'm going to attach that onto my embellishment. Now, as I said, I'm going to attach this fully, but you could attach it on 3 sides and have a pocket here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to attach it all over. Burnish that down. Okay, so in here I'm going to put some embellishments, and I'm going to just go and have a look around, see what I've got that I want to put in there. I don't want anything that big. I want something just small, some just small things to put in here, and a tag to go in here. I'll probably use that one, but I'll decorate it a bit. I'll cover that for starters. I might use this, cover that. Which side would look nicer in there, that side or that side? I think I'll go for that side. So let's attach this to the pattern paper. Like so. Then I can trim this off. So this tag was just a normal, actually I think it was white cardstock I cut up, and I have coffee dyed it using the lace pattern. I have got some of these in my Etsy store, and I will put a link in the description box below. I'll put a link in the description box to everything I'm using, so if there's anything that takes your fancy, you might want to check it out. You can use anything, of course. You've probably got heaps of things in your stash that are suitable for this sort of thing. Okay, now, even though I've already got the stitching on the back, I want it on the front as well. So I'm going to go and stitch around this again, and I'm going to try and stitch over the top of what's already there. Wish me luck. Okay, so I have stitched around that. I've managed to keep it fairly well over the previous one, and I thought that while I was restitching it, I may as well readjust the size. So I cut a ½ inch off the bottom so that it has got a bit of headspace here. Now, on the cover of my journal, I have used this as a topper for a tag, and I'm going to use that same stuff on this one. I'm not going to make it into a ruffle though. I'm just going to cut a strip and fold it over. So I don't need it to be too wide or too long. Let's say, well, let's make it that wide and that long. There we go. I think I got this with a bunch of flowers one time. So now I can fold that over there, and glue that in place. I could have added this at the same time as I did my stitching, but glue works just as well, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so that can go in there like so. And now I want a little bit of embellishment on here and probably on my little tag. So I've got the fussy cuts here. That's too big. Shall I put the bird on there? No. About some mushrooms. I might use the mushrooms, I think. And I'll grab a label. And some smaller leaves. Might put the leaves on it as well. Okay, now labels. Now I've got normal labels and I've got these tiny labels, so I might go for one of these, perhaps a green and something like that. That looks alright. What else have we got here? I think I'll just go with that. What do you think? I think that looks alright, don't you? Okay, so let's ink it all up. I have used some toadstools on another embellishment in this journal, so they're not going to be on their own. Okay, let's stick them in place. That's quite cute. And do I need to put anything on the tag, do you think? Maybe just a label and a butterfly or something like that. Because you can't really see anything behind there, can you? It's quite a large label. And here I've got some butterflies, probably something like that. It's probably just a little bit too big. One's a little bit too big too for my liking. Maybe just something like that, eh? Just a little something, not too much texture because it's got to fit into the pocket. Stick that down. So there's plenty of room for journaling in this journal. They've got 3 signatures, each with 20 double pages in them, so plenty of room for writing, plus there's all of these tags and journaling cards, that sort of thing. Okay, so you can't see anything of that on that tag while it's in the pocket, but when you take it out of the pocket you can see it. Now I want something to put on the outside of the envelope. So maybe I've got this label here that looks quite large, doesn't it? Maybe I don't want anything that big. And what else would I like to put on it? I've got some chipboard flowers and I'm wondering whether one of these might be nice. So considering that that's not going to be moving up and down, I can attach something like that. That's nice, isn't it? And I can put a bit of this behind it. I should put it that way because I was only going to, oh no, I can still just attach that like that and just attach it to this part of the envelope. Do I want to colour that a little bit or leave it white? I'm thinking white. And now that bigger label might be fine. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So that was one of Denise Boddey's chipboards and it's called Herbs. So that's what I'm going to do. Just going to pop something heavy on that to hold that in place. Now to put in the pocket, I've got some coffee dyed paper here and I thought I'd just make like a little concertina type writing spot. How wide can I make that? I'll make it say 3 1/4 inches wide. How wide is the whole thing? It's 5 3/4 wide. So if I cut that at 3, I can make a little concertina. So I'm going to make one this wide and fold that back like that. Ink around it. Okay. So that can pop in there like that. I'm going to cut that down a little bit and attach that to this. Trim that down. a little corner on it. That can go in there. And something else, I think something a bit taller and to go in the back there behind that. What can we put in there? Could make another journaling card that's a bit wider. I might do that. This one I'm going to back with this paper. Okay, that can go in there like that, and this bigger one can go behind that writing paper, so it will look like that. But before I call it finished, I'm going to add some of this as tabs to them. I'm just cutting a couple of smaller pieces, and I'm going to attach these on here. Then I'm going to stitch them. Where did my other piece go? There. A little clip here I can use to hold that on there while it dries. Okay, so I'm not going to embellish these at all. They're too small, and you know you can't see the bottom part of it anyway, so I'm going to leave them as they are, just with that gold on the top. So I'm going to go and stitch around these, and then I will return. Okay, so I've stitched around those, and they are now ready to go in here, like so. So we've got our envelope with our 2 tags and our writing paper there. On the other side we've got a window pocket with a tag in it with plenty of writing space on the back of that. And they go over the page. So let's find the page. There we go. So that's going to go over here. Doesn't matter which way it goes. What's going on there? Seem to have got something caught, cotton glued, and they go like so. So we've got that on there, and we've got that on there. Okay, so there we go. So that's 2 pages done today. I think I'm getting pretty close to finished actually. I think I've only got this 1 page left to go. Yes, just the back cover. And do I want to put anything on there? If I do put something on there, it will be something simple like a pocket with a large journaling card or something like that. Something pretty flat because it's the back of the book. So anyway, that's all I'm going to do for today. So thank you for joining me. I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, I'd love it if you give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, all of those good things. And I hope you can join me when I post my next video. Okay, bye.